Hey guys, welcome back to the Xcode 4.2 tutorials. And what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're actually going to use the segmented controller. And so how we're going to set this up is we're going to add a new view controller to our storyboard here. And you can do that by just dragging and dropping the view controller on the screen. And we're going to hook that up with a button, similar to the alert view tutorial that we just did. And so we're going to drag a button onto the previous root navigation controller over here. We're going to call this segment so we know where it's going. Now within that we're going to make the button a little bit smaller and probably about the same size as the one above it, just so it looks clean there. Now we're going to hook it up, and we're also going to add a new class to the segmented controller. So we're going to hook it up by holding control, clicking on the button, and dragging it over to the new view controller. Now once you do that, you're going to be prompted with the storyboard segue. We're going to push it over to this view controller, and you can see that it automatically inherits the navigation controller that we're working within. So what we're going to do now is put in the segmented controller within the confines of the view there, and we're also going to throw an image view within there as well. And you'll see what we're doing here. Basically, we're going to have a segmented controller up above that is going to control 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever you guys want. In this case, we're just going to control 2 images. One's going to be blank or none. We're going to have a green arrow image and then also a blue image there. And now I've already got our images on the screen. You can see there's the blue one, and then we've got a green one. And so we're going to take those PNGs or whatever the file type that you've got in front of you. Make sure it complies with what files you can use. JPEGs, PNGs you're safe with. Some of the other ones you want to double check with Apple's developer. So we're going to take both those images, drag them over into the supporting files and drop them in there. We're going to make sure that they're copying into the destination group folder and go ahead and click finish. So you'll see they are now inserted into the supporting files, and we're going to pull from those now. Put them on screen when our segmented controller is selected via which button is clicked. So now what we've got to do is we've got to start hooking up our buttons and establishing our outlets and our action. And so we're going to use the assistant editor, which is going to pull up our file over here. And we forgot to do one thing, jumping way ahead of us right now. We actually have to create a new class, because as you guys saw in the alert view, when you click on your view controller, you go to identity up here, you'll see that we don't have any class associated to this view. So we can't even write any code to have that segmented controller change the image. So we're going to go over to the left over here, and we're going to add a new file. When you add a new file, you'll see the view controller subclass come up as the selected one, and that's exactly what we want. So go ahead and click next. The class, we're just going to name it segment, and subclass of UI controller, targeted for iPad, correct. We're going to leave off the XIB and click next. Go ahead and save it within your project files there, and now you can see we've generated a new class for this view controller. Now it isn't quite hooked up yet, so we got to go back to the storyboard and select the view. And once you select your view, you'll see that the class is still empty. And so we're going to type in segment for our segment class that we just created. So now what we can do is open up our assistant editor. And once you get your assistant editor opened, you'll see that we're not in the right class. So we've got to click the drop down and go to segment.h, which this is our header file for our view controller here. And so we're going to hook up 3 things. The first thing that we're going to hook up is the segmented controller as an outlet. And so we're just going to call this segment and go ahead and connect that. The next thing that we're going to hook up as an outlet is this image view. And we're just going to name that image. Go ahead and connect that. And the last thing, we don't have an action. We basically need our segmented controller to act as an action. And so we're also going to hook up the segmented controller as an action as well as an outlet. And this is what's going to change the image view. And so we're just going to call this image selected. so we're going to connect that, and we will continue the rest of writing the code in the next tutorial, guys. Hope you guys are learning, catching on, and if you have any questions, drop us an email and we'll try to get back to you on that. Alright, we'll catch you guys later.